I want to give an opportunity to ourselves to follow up, because this was a taster. This was more like getting a taste of the richness and the possibilities that we are representing for each other, and the different ways in which we can follow up next steps. One of them is the courses that our campus co-evolve faculty is offering, and all our courses are based on pay what you feel right. So in other words, we don't want to leave anybody behind. We don't want to leave out anybody who is very much interested in one of the courses but can't afford the suggested donation. That will be okay. So having said that, I would like to ask Barbara, are you still with us?
Hi.
Barbara, can you give us 2 minutes of insight about the course that you are going to facilitate?
So my course is called Caring for the Self, and it's really a course designed primarily for the individual. And the purpose of the course is to teach you and give you the experience of listening to yourself and music differently. So you'll be learning to listen generatively. You'll be learning to listen to make meaning and to dig deeper into the internal resources that you can access. Why music? Because I have found that music bypasses the left brain, and it kicks in a lot of creativity, and it's the shortest way I know from the head to the heart. And so in this course, you'll learn how to really hear yourself more, and how to cultivate music as an activator of the deepest layers of your being. How you can really, through music, learn and feel and sense what is good and true and beautiful and resourceful within you. So that's essentially my course. It'll be held over 6 weeks, and 3 of those weeks are done in a reverse classroom where you'll be meeting your fellow teammates in small groups. If any of you have questions, I will put my email in the chat box, and you're welcome to write to me, and I can answer questions that you might have about the course. But thank you, George, Gina, Anna, for the opportunity to be presenting this course that I'm so passionate about. And I'll pass it back to you, George.
So yeah, media, we're teaching a media course. My colleague, Mark Allen Kaplan, is a brilliant guy. He's really the brains of the operation, kind of has come up with a way to apply integral theory, which is a meta theory, to the moving image in all its evolving forms, including virtual reality and film and video, stuff like that. And so the whole idea of our course is basically to help you to become to refine your perceptual apparatus, to be able to see more broadly, sort of deeper spin, wider span, and more depth within the world, and then also to figure out how to apply that to media and to make media, because we think media is one of the most important tools for transforming consciousness of the world at scale. So that's what we're trying to do. And you'll learn a lot of tools. Our first class was very successful. A lot of people said they had really profound kind of breakthroughs and shifts in their perceptual operating system. It seemed to work really well, and you'll never be able to look at media the same again afterwards.
Today a lot of people will be thinking, what am I doing with my life? So, I'm working for a company, it's selling Coca-Cola or something that is not really doing a lot of good to the world, and I don't necessarily want to create a business. I want to do something meaningful, to contribute to this meaningful thing, and then I want to actually make a living from my contributions. So basically, the idea of the course is to look at commoning, as a way to change your life, and to look at what I've learned from open source communities, from urban commons, and to see how they're organized, how their economics work. So how does a commons group relate to the market or not? So there's different options there. So I want to look at that. But then because of the particular moment we are in, instead of giving the whole course myself, as was originally intended with 4 sessions, I want to invite 2 people that are actually today active in the reaction to the COVID-19 crisis. So I have somebody in Brussels who has been able in 1 week to set up a production of tens of thousands of masks for the medical sector here in Brussels, got the support from the regional government, found a factory willing to work with open source designs. So I want to basically, ask him how did it go, what were the difficulties, and believe me, there were a lot, because as he told me actually today, all the institutions were against it. So the banks, the medical sector, everybody was aligning, against this, and they still succeeded in doing it. And then there's another project I want to present. So I want to kind of more in real time, because of the current circumstances, put you in touch with people who've been doing it, right? You've been reacting to the COVID-19 crisis, especially around medical devices and mutual aid, and basically with them we can learn how these things are possible today. And I will bring my own experience, because I've been doing this for 10 years now. So basically, yeah, that's the idea.
The title is From Me to We to All of Us. And it will deal with what Todd asked in our group here, the different levels, different scales of transformation, how they relate to one another. So we are going to practice collaborative sense-making, track new forms of social creativity around the world, tend our patch in the coevolution knowledge garden, discover signposts pointing to possible future. So that too will be an action research, and we will envision and enact generative steps towards a desired future. So it will be not only research, it will be action, working on projects, contribute to the larger sense making that is occurring in the global social field, because we are not the only ones who are looking for the path into the future. So that will be, my course will be 14 weeks starting next Monday. And yeah, that's all, I guess, what I wanted to say. Whoever is interested in this, if you have questions, I'm going to stay here for a few minutes after we finish. And another way of two more ways to moving forward, continuing our work together. One is that working in project teams, people whose line of work connects with each other can form projects, and we are going to enable the formation of those discovery teams. For example, in the breakout room of the large systems change, we discovered a desire to learn more about each of their work, and 3 people offered to be the connectors for weaving us together. So that will be another way of continuing the work. And the last but not least, there is also the possibility, and that's I really would recommend to all of us, that please do join the Coevolution community on Facebook, if you are on Facebook, of course, and if you have not yet joined, because that's the space where we can inspire each other, connect with each other, and start working together on wherever we feel some affinity with another person's project.
I want to add to that. Certainly the quick pitch was rather quick, so that was a tough one. But going into the next group was really fascinating. What we found in our breakaway, that so many of us were using similar tools, which was storytelling, to do different things. And then we had somebody from renewable energy and from a medical field who's saying, okay, great, how can we use storytelling? So we started to build a community around something, but from different areas, which I hope, and we will connect everybody to, so that those discussions and links can be made going forward.
I want to say thank you to everybody on this call. It's been absolutely wonderful and marvelous. And the work I'm doing in the community, there's two things that are coming out is how important sense of place is, and also we need a new form of leadership. And that's going to come about by leaderships where you live. So I'm looking at sense of place and place-based leadership.
Mm-hmm.
There is an enormous challenge in our urban settlements to address this. And I mean, you'll know London is one of the greenest cities on the planet, but there's still so much more that needs to be done there. So I'd love to join forces with you on addressing this one. And my backstory is involved in all of that.
I was stuck between the micro or very local, which is looking after the Let's Link community, which is person to person, and then looking and then sort of despair about the political efforts, the big economy, and how horribly wrong it's been and how to pull it back. But this has made me realize that you can scale up from the Let's resource sharing. You can scale that up into a bigger into a more regional level.
I was struck by something that Joshua mentioned, Joshua Malkin from Totnes. He was talking about community wealth building societies. So we all know building societies, but to create community wealth building societies where for-profit companies contribute and where surplus is distributed, so that the Commons Equity Society or community wealth building societies, they buy companies and distribute surplus.
Can I just say, as an experiment from beginning to end, as a first try, how connected I felt to people that I actually had a chance to talk to. And if this is just sort of a taste of what is possible if we come to grips with the technology and have an intention to stay connected, because this is just the first seeds of something that can really grow into something that's has a lot of potential and hope for the future in it. And so thanks to everybody that came.
It has been a fantastic experience. And I think the really heartwarming thing, I mean, really from the heart, is that there is so much willingness and so many of us working in the similar fields willing to actually share what we have and be able to spread it. So I believe that this idea of going out into the communities, listening to the stories, and the idea that Bill mentioned being leadership being sense of place, but that applies across the world, because it's not only particularly in South Africa. I mean, we are such a diverse world with so many diverse communities, and we just need to understand that diversity, respect it, knowing that the difference is a strength. It gives us all. It's like weaving a tapestry. You know, the warp and the weft, totally different tensions, different things. And let's build this unbelievably beautiful world tapestry that honors the planet. And I really feel, for the first time in quite a long time, this upsurge of hope, that in those threads, there will be the silver thread of hope, which will actually take us into the future.